In this video, you will learn why the BMI is a useless marker standalone and what to measure instead. BMI stands for Body Mass Index. It's just mass divided by height squared. It tells you nothing about fat cell size, fat distribution, or your metabolic capabilities. Two people with exactly the same BMI can have entirely different metabolic fates. One can be metabolically healthy, with small, abundant fat cells distributed subcutaneously. The other could be metabolically sick, with large, hypertrophic fat cells, as well as visceral overflow in the liver. One of the problems is ethnicity. BMI cutoffs were calibrated on European populations, but South Asians, East Asians, and Southeast Asians have lower, or in some cases way lower, fat thresholds. Their subcutaneous fat tissue has less capacity for safe hyperplastic expansion. A South Asian at BMI of 24 can already have insulin-resistant inflamed fat cells and significant liver fat, while a white European at the same BMI remains perfectly healthy. What actually matters is fat cell size and distribution. The markers that track this are waist circumference, waist to height ratio, or direct measures of visceral fat. If you fancy a more advanced markers and you can access them, the adiponectin to leptin ratio, which tells you about fat cell health, or the adipo insulin resistance index, fasting insulin multiplied by fasting-free fatty acids. That index is great because it captures exactly what we should care about, whether our fat tissue has lost its natural insulin sensitivity. Here's something even more important. The muscle mass. It makes the BMI completely irrelevant in most cases. Here's why. Muscle is the biggest glucose consumer in your body. When you eat carbohydrates, roughly 80% of the glucose that leaves your bloodstream goes into muscle. The more muscle you have, the more glucose it pulls in. Two people can have exactly the same BMI and wildly different metabolic fates based on muscle mass alone. A person with BMI 26 and high muscle mass coupled with low visceral fat is metabolically perfectly healthy. Another person with BMI of 26 but low or very low on muscle mass and with high visceral fat can be already insulin resistant. BMI sees them as the same. This measurement doesn't differentiate between the tissues. This is one of the reasons why resistance training matters so much. Muscle mass and strength predict all-cause mortality better than almost every other single marker. It's not about vanity, it's about metabolic real estate, among a variety of other benefits. Every kilogram of muscle mass you carry, or rather that carries you, is a glucose sink. It improves insulin sensitivity, lowers triglycerides, and improves your metabolic flexibility. When you're in a caloric deficit, trying to lose visceral fat, muscle mass preserves your metabolic rate and helps you stay insulin sensitive while the fat comes off. So long story short, what is my recommendation for practical measurement instead of BMI? The easiest and at the same time one of the most effective methods. Just look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself, don't sugarcoat it. See if your body fat is concentrated around your belly or spread elegantly in areas your sex should dictate. If you're a woman, you would want it concentrated around your bottom, hips and breasts typically. If you're a man, you would want it to be spread ideally without much concentration all around your body. One note, men are more healthy naturally, having way less body fat percentage than women, so visually lean, muscular men are always going to be healthier. Just measure how you look and how your looks change with your eyes. You can support this measurement with a scale with limited trust to its readings. You will know if you get more muscular and you will know when your fat comes off once you get used to it. From my experience and working with my clients, it's the most long-term sustainable and just common sense approach. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate what I'm doing, you know exactly what to do with all these YouTube things to click. My name is Szymon and I wish you a wonderful day. See you in the next one.